Guys, we have one last news story for you today before we leave, and this one literally broke moments before we went live.
Ooh, breaking
And
news.
this is awesome. And Nick, I got to say, your skills in putting together this PowerPoint slide in such a little time, you should be very proud of yourself, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
So, the DCU under James Gunn is under full way. It's soft open with Creature Commandos. We have Superman coming out next year, the first big feature film. And we know one of the first big TV shows, the first big TV show they're doing is Lanterns for HBO, the Green Lantern series. And guys, they have cast their Sinestro. Sinestro is here, and he will be played by Ulrich Thompson. Previous roles on Counterpart and The Blacklist, other shows he was on. And as you know, or if you don't know the synopsis of the Lantern series, it follows Jon Stewart, played by Aaron Pierre from Rebel Ridge, and Lantern legend Hal Jordan, played by Kyle Chandler. We love Kyle Chandler. It's basically going to do a version of it that's like a cop mystery drama, but with Green Lanterns. Hell yeah, they're going to be investigating murders. And here is some of the Deadline story that just broke that news a second ago. You did such a good job on that PowerPoint. I don't know how much I have to read of this. It kind of just goes into who Sinestro is, in case you didn't know. Was previously played by Mark Strong in the unfortunate Green Lantern movie. But, guys, this is big news. This is a huge villain for the DCU. I would be very surprised if this is the only project we see Sinestro in. I wouldn't even be surprised if he's not a villain yet. I know that in this universe, it's existed for a while, and Hal Jordan's been a Lantern for a long time, so maybe he is already a villain. But either way, his backstory is going to be interesting. That story is going to be very cool to dive into. And, I think this is great. I'm unfamiliar with the actor's work, but, I'm hoping he's as good as I hope he can be. And I think that the more I hear about the series, the more excited I get. I didn't even know they were going to put Sinestro in this thing. I don't know why. Obviously they are. But, that wasn't even on my radar. So, Nicholas, what are your thoughts on this, man?
No, yeah, listen, I'm excited at the concept of it. I'm hoping that the series is not doing that sort of thing where it's like, oh, who's the killer? Who's the killer? And then we get to Sinestro, and you're like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it took 8 episodes, and now we're getting Sinestro. So I kind of hope maybe they do something on its head where maybe he's a main player in the show. Maybe it's a different role. Maybe they kind of go bringing it back to like a Hannibal Lecter type thing. Maybe Sinestro's jailed up somewhere and they go to him for insight. Maybe they play into that. I don't know. But I mean, it's a surprising cast. Sinestro's a big character, and it seems like he has a great resume with television roles. Maybe shocked with at that level they're not going with maybe a more recognizable, like bigger name on that. But I think that there's something to be said about casting TV people for TV series.
Absolutely.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think it's a very strong element to go in. Kyle Chandler, he's been in a movie here or there, but he's a really strong TV performer. And it's not to say they can't make that jump. He's done it plenty of times wonderfully. But people who know how that sort of system works, how the scheduling, how the filming works, I think having people already up to speed with that versus having a huge actor, it's like we got to get him in, we got to get him out. I think that it's going to have a lot more camaraderie on set because of that.
That's an excellent breakdown. I fully agree with you. I'm wondering how much is going to be mocap and how much is going to be makeup, personally. But can I run a little fan theory by you real quick before we go?
Hit me with it.
Do you think the murder they're investigating is Nathan Fillion's from Superman? Guy Gardner?
I don't know, because I feel like you can't do that in a way where, do you think he would die in Superman and they're investigating that? Because I feel like that we would know as an audience probably how he died.
Well, it could be one of those things where a post-credit scene is someone finds the body, and then the very cheesy someone called the Lantern Corps, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was just a fan theory. Maybe they're investigating his murder because clearly
I can see it. I feel
it's got to be a murder important to the Lanterns. So
perhaps the murder of Sinestro.
I so doubt it, but you never know. You never know.
No, I think that would make sense, especially if we start to see, you know how sometimes you see a role in a movie, and you're like, I don't think there's really much more for this element to it. it's sort of like Nathan Fillion's not going to be a big player in these projects, sort of a goofy Guy Gardner type thing. So I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
Looks like we have a chat here from Ryan Santo.
Oh, a super chat.
Super
Hey,
chat. Thank you, Ryan, very much. That's very generous of you.
Thank you very much.
He asked, how do you think the costume design will be handled given the previous Green Lantern appearances? CGI, latex, Party City. Listen, Party City's going out of business. They might get some deals.
They gotta save on those deals, baby.
I'm getting emails 75% off if Superman doesn't perform. I think it'll be a mix, personally. If they're going for a more grounded realism on that level, I really do see Hal Jordan just rocking like a brown coat.
Oh yeah, the brown coat, Hal Jordan, for
like
sure.
I see them sort of taking a more generic costume approach to that. But for the actual costume itself, when we're seeing them in full Lantern gear, I think latex, personally, just given the look at Superman and Supergirl, like it seems like they really are prioritizing all the costumes at that point.
Yeah, no, it'll be a practical costume, I think. I mean, there might be some CGI touch-ups, which would be fun.